organic compound which are having same molecular formula. You can write it down that organic compound having same molecular formula but they differs with each other in their properties in their properties are called as isomers, and the phenomena is called as isomerism. Okay guys, so organic compound having same molecular formula but they differ with each other in their properties are called isomers, and the phenomena is called as isomerism in simple words. So isomerism is classified into two part. First one is structural isomers isomerism. Second one is stereo isomerism. Okay, so in this lecture we'll be talking much about structural isomerism, but stereoisomerism is one of the typical one, means it's the hardest isomerism, so we'll be learning it in the future advanced courses. Okay, so but structural isomerism is the need of the following course, and it's very much easy to grasp upon, and it's very much important for you to know about the structural isomerism. So I'll be talking about structural isomerism extensively in this lecture. Okay, so structural isomerism, your structural isomerism compounds having same molecular formula but different structure. Okay, so compounds having same molecular formula but different structure, okay, are called structural isomers, are called structural isomers, and the phenomena is called as structural isomerism. So as the name suggests, structural isomerism means there will be something fishy in the structure itself. Now structural isomerism can be of the following type. First one is chain isomerism. Second one is your position isomerism. Third one is your functional isomerism. Fourth one is your metamerism. Okay, so these are the four classification of the structural isomerism. Starting from the chain isomerism itself, chain isomerism, you'll be getting an idea about that there will be something fishy going in the chain itself, in the parent chain itself. Yes, it's true. So compound will be having the same molecular formula but different chain of carbon atom. So same structural formula but different chain of carbon atoms. Okay, take a typical example of butane, your N-butane and 2-methyl propane. Okay, so they are having same molecular formula of you're having C4 and H10, C4 and H10. Now N-butane you can form CH3, CH2, CH2, CH3. So 3 gives me 6, 6 plus 4 gives me a 10. So C4H10, and your this is your N-butane and isobutane, or you can say that 2-methyl butane. Okay, So 2 methyl butane, CH3 CH CH3 CH2. You can say that isobutane. Why isobutane? Because you are having a methyl group over here, a methyl group. Okay, so there is a methyl group at your second last carbon. Okay, so I've told you about iso in my last lectures itself. So please refer the last lecture if you don't know about the iso and about iso neo sec wordings. Okay, so this is your 2 methyl 2 methyl butane, the IUPAC nomenclature of this one. Okay, so this is a typical example of your chain isomerism. Okay, which are having same formula, same structural formula is there. You are having 10 hydrogen over here, 4 carbon over here, but the structure, the chain, the parent chain are different. Here it is 4 carbon in the parent chain, here it is 3 carbon in the parent chain. Take another example. So you can take N-pentane. Yep, N-pentane. Then isopentane, I believe it is having same thing, same number of carbon and neopentane, same number of carbon and hydrogen. So N-pentane I can make it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so you are having here C5 and H12, C5 H12. Okay, and isopentane, how can you write isopentane? So your second last carbon, first you have to make the parent chain itself. So isopentane must contain a carbon less. Okay, CH2 CH2 CH3. Okay, so a carbon less in the main parent chain. Now I have to add a methyl group over here, so I will subtract one hydrogen from the secondary carbon. So let us take second last carbon is my, this second last is this my carbon. I am starting from over here, so this is my second last carbon and I am adding a methyl group over here. Okay, so isopentane. Now to similarly to make neopentane, CH3, same, just adding 2 methyl group at the second last carbon, CH2 CH3. Now you can see here everyone is having 5 carbon and 12 hydrogen in the formula, but the carbon number of carbons in the parent chain are different. Here it is 5 5, here it is 4 4, here it should be 3, sorry, here it should be 3, so here it is 3. Okay guys, neopentane. So here it is 5 carbons in the main parent chain, here it is only 4 carbon in the main parent chain, and here it is 3 carbon in the main parent chain. Okay, moving forward to the next isomer, which is our positional isomer. So isomer positional isomer or positional isomerism. Okay, so now in this compound are having same molecular formula. So compound are having same molecular formula, but different in position of the substituent. Different in position of your substituent. So what are your substituent? Like this one is your substituent, a double bond, a triple bond is your substituent, or any functional group in your main parent chain is your substituent. Okay, so now there will be a difference in their position. Okay, take an example of this one. Take this example, C4H8. C4H8. So simply I can write C4H8 with a double bond at first primary carbon over here. Now you can easily associate the remaining hydrogen in this formula, I believe. Okay, so from our previous lecture, so CH3, then your 1H over here, 1H over here, 1H over here, 1H over here, 1H over here. Okay, so this one is but 1 ene. Okay, another isomer I can uh, another isomer I can make of this one is by repositioning this double bond itself. So what I'm gonna do is CH3 C C CH3, I'm going to deposition the double bond itself in the middle, at the second carbon itself, okay. So as I have repositioned the double bond at the second carbon itself, the name will become butene. But as you can see here, the main point is not about the naming itself, but the position of this double bond. The position of this double bond. At the first isomer, it is at first carbon, and at the second isomer, it is at the second carbon. Okay, so you have to take care of these things. Okay, now if you see closely, both are having same number of carbon over here, both are having same number of carbon and same number of hydrogen, which is the number of 8 over here. Moving forward to the next example of this position isomer, I'm taking an example of C3H8O. Now from this, seeing this one, from this formula itself, I can figure out that there will be an OH group going inside the formula, and there will be two different position of the OH group for two different isomer. So first one is, which I can make, is CH3, just wait a second, is CH3 CH2 CH2 OH. So I've positioned my OH group at first carbon itself, and I can position it in the middle also. CH3 CHOH, moving the hydrogen from the second carbon to your first carbon, giving it a methyl group over here, terminal methyl group. Okay, so this is prop 1 all, propane 1 all. This is propane 2 all, because of the difference in position of your OH group. Okay, take another typical example of C6H6O2. So here I can form three different isomers of benzene. As you can see here, it is benzene. Okay, so first one is OH over here and at ortho position. Okay, so why I'm taking this example, because I know that I have studied about benzene enough in my previous lecture. So I have taken OH group over here, my first primary group, and I know that it is an ortho position. This is called as meta position. This is called as para position, respectively. Ortho, meta, and para. So I am just adding another OH group, at these three position. Okay, that's how I'm making this example in front of you guys. Okay, so that's not a rocket science to make such example in organic chemistry. It's kind of fun to do. Okay, so OH over here, I am adding OH over here. You can add OH over here, and you can add OH over here at para position. So you are having this compound as 1,2 benzene 1,2 diol. Okay, so it is benzene benzene a hyphen 1,2 a hyphen diol. Okay, benzene 1,2 diol, and in this you can name it benzene, starting from here only 1, 2, and 3 at the third position itself. So OH is at 1 and third position. Benzene hyphen 1, 3 diol, and you can name this fellow by yourself. So benzene 1, 2, 3, 4, benzene 1, 4 diol, respectively. Okay, guys. So moving forward to the next example. So I'm taking much of the example for you guys only. So C3H7Cl, C3H7Cl. Okay, so like as this fellow, where OH was our was our group, here Cl is our group. Okay, so CCC, and you are remaining with rest of the hydrogen. Just add rest of the hydrogen. Okay, so 3, 2 gives me 5, and 2 gives me 7. Now I have to add Cl. So I am having Cl over here at the first carbon, and then similarly adding Cl at the middle carbon, leaving with the terminal methyl group over here. So this one is 1 chloropropane, 1 hyphen chloropropane. Okay, and this is 2 chloropropane. Okay, guys. So this is a typical example of your positional isomerism because of difference in position of your Cl group. They differ in position. Okay, it's at first position in this isomer and at second position at second carbon in this second year isomer. Moving forward to the next one is your functional isomerism. Sorry for my handwriting. Functional isomerism. So in functional isomerism, the compounds will be having same again the same molecular formula but different functional group. Okay, the same molecular formula but different functional group. Same molecular formula but different functional group. Now you can take a typical example of alcohol and ethers. Okay, so I'm taking a typical example of alcohol and ethers. Alcohol and ethers. So take this example C2H6O. Now as you know, alcohol is OH and ether is O, and the two groups over here. Okay, now what I can make out of it is C3CH2 and OH. Okay, ethanol from the alcoholic functional group, and I've used O over here and remaining 2C and H6. So CH3 methyl group over here, CH3 methyl group over here, which is methoxymethane. Methoxymethane. Okay, methoxymethane. So as you can see here, both are having the same formula, but different functional group. First one is having an alcoholic functional group, another one is having an ether functional group. An ether functional group. Okay, moving forward to the next one. Next example actually is, let us take example of aldehyde and a ketone. Okay, our famous one. Okay, so aldehyde and ketone, let us choose a formula wisely for it. Let me choose this formula. Now as you know, aldehyde comprise of a CHO and ketone comprise of a C double bond with O and two alkyl group or two groups over here. Okay, so now just if you are taking for the aldehyde, so one C, one H and one O is being consumed, you are remaining with two carbon over here and five hydrogen. So I can simply write it as this one. Okay, so this is propanol. This is propanol. Propanol. Okay, so this is propanol. Now for the ketonic part, I have used one carbon and one hydrogen, remaining with six hydrogens and two carbon over here. Okay, two carbon and six hydrogen. So I have added a terminal methyl group at both of the position, at position 1 and the position 2. What's this? What's the name of this? Propanon. Propanon. Okay, so because both of the isomers are having same formula but different functional group, one is having an aldehyde, another one is having an ketonic. I can say that it is a example of functional isomerism. Okay guys, take another example of carboxylic acid, carboxylic acid and ester. Carboxylic acid and ester. So as you know that carboxylic acid is nothing but COOH. Everyone knows about him. But ester you are having COOR. Okay, COOR, where R is an alkyl group over here. Okay, so this is your ester. Forget about this R over here. Just follows. Just remember that these are the two arms which will be bonding with the necessary atoms. Okay, so carboxylic acid. Now take a formula, take this formula from me and try to make the two isomers. Take this formula C2H4O2. Take C2H4O2. Now if I have to make isomer of carboxylic acid, I can make it as COOH. Because I've used 2 oxygen, 1 hydrogen and 1 carbon, I'm left with 1 carbon and 3 hydrogen over here. Okay, so I've added 1 carbon and 3 hydrogen over here, which is just a methyl group. So this compound is ethanoic acid. Okay guys, now your ester, you are consuming 1 carbon and 2 hydrogen, 1 carbon and 2 oxygen, 1 carbon 2 oxygen you are consuming, you are left with only 4 hydrogens. Okay, you are consuming 1 carbon 2 oxygen, you are left with 1 carbon and 4 hydrogen. So one methyl group I'll be adding over here from my previous knowledge. Okay, and I'm left with 1 hydrogen, so I'm adding 1 hydrogen over here. Okay, so this fellow is methyl methanoate. This fellow is methyl methanoate. Okay, moving forward to the next and the last one is metamerism. Metamerism. So metamerism, same molecular formula, the compounds are having same molecular formula but different alkyl group. Okay, different alkyl group or different alkyl group on either side of the functional group. Okay, so you have to remember that they are having same molecular formula, same molecular formula but different alkyl group, on either side of the functional group. Okay, so for example C4H10O. Now you are using ether here, ether over here. Now ether carries R1 and R2, two different or two same alkyl group. Now from this what I can form is CH3 CH2O CH2 CH3. One example is this one, where both side, if I am using O over here, I am remaining with 2 carbon and 10 hydrogen. At left hand side I have divided 2 carbon and 5 hydrogen over here, 2 carbon and 5 hydrogen over here, and 2 carbon 5 hydrogen over here also, 2 carbon 5 hydrogen over here also, from the formula itself. So this is your ethoxy ethoxyethane. Another example you can take from of this isomer, another isomer you can make is, you can shift this one over here and you can give one carbon from this methyl group to this side. Okay, to this side. So I can make is CH3 CH2 CH2O CH3. Now you are having a methyl group over here, a methyl group over here. Okay, you are having a methyl group over here and a propyl group over here. Okay, so you are having two different alkyl group, you are having two different alkyl group on either side of your functional group. Okay, take another example of C4H11N. Okay, so you can do is, you're consuming one N and one H over here and you are giving two alkyl group over here. Like for example, I am remaining with C4 and H10 I am remaining with, so I can write here as CH3CH2. So 2 carbon 5 hydrogen I've divided at the left hand side and 2 carbon and 5 hydrogen at right hand side. Okay, now I can shift again this carbon here. Okay, so CH3 CH2 CH2 NH CH3. Okay guys, so this one is an ethyl ethyl ethanamine, an ethyl ethanamine, and it is n methyl n methyl propane propanamine. Okay, from the nomenclature I can write this. Now you can make some few more example of this kind. For example, try to figure out this one. Try to figure out this one. Okay, it will be a good exercise for you guys. Okay, now note the following fact that ketones ketones show position isomers. Ketones show position isomerism as well as metamerism. Okay, ketone can show both position isomerism as well as metamerism, but preferentially, preferentially we consider only the position isomerism. Okay guys, for the case of the ketone, it can show position as well as your metamerism, but preferentially we take position isomerism, so you have to take care for this. Okay, you have to take care about that. Now moving forward to your stereo isomerism. Stereo isomerism, so I'm giving a very crunch down brief overview on stereo isomerism. So isomerism which have same structural formula but different relative arrangement of the group. Okay, so they will be having same structural formula as like our structural isomerism guy, but the position, the arrangement, the position and the relative arrangement of the atom or the group in the space will be different. Okay, so this is known as the stereo isomerism. Okay, so you can write it down that they carry also the same structural formula, and but they have different relative arrangement of atoms or groups in space. Okay, so these are stereoisomers and the phenomenon is called as stereoisomers. Stereoisomerism. Now it is of two type. It is of two type. One is your geometrical, which we'll be talking about in the advanced course, and one is the optical one. One is the optical one. Okay, let me talk about something about tautomerism because it's much oftenly asked in your exam and in various of the worksheets. So tautomerism are the isomers of the compound which differs only in the position of proton and electron only. First you have to remember this. Okay, unlike our structural isomerism in which structure formula were same. Okay, the molecular formula were same but the structure was different. Here the position of the proton and electrons comes into the play. Okay guys, now the carbon skeleton structure of the compound is unchanged. Okay, you are having the same carbon skeleton over here, there is no change in that. Okay, no change in that. If you can see in this example, there is no change in the carbon skeleton structure over here. Now in this we have a proton transfer intermolecular fashion. We have proton transfer in a very intermolecular fashion and it is called a tautomerism. Okay, so inside the compound only, inside this chemical only, there will be proton transfer itself. Okay, for example, take this take this fellow over here. Now this double bond will move to this position, making a O negative over here and a carbon positive over here. So to remove the positive charge over this carbon, this negative this double bond this single bond in between this carbon and H will move to this position. Okay, that's how we'll be getting a double bond over here. Now this will generate a hydrogen proton. This will generate a hydrogen proton over here. Okay, so this will generate a hydrogen proton over here. Now this hydrogen proton will act at this side of O negative, giving it an OH over here. So there is a proton transfer intramolecular only. Okay, from here, from this site to this site only, in this molecule only, not from any external source. Okay, so this is called your tautomerism.